Well, hello there and welcome back to Minecraft. So, I have an idea for a potentially dumb but kind of interesting thing to do today. So, we are down here in the cave right now, which I know we don't really spend much time on, and yes, I am actually planning on doing some work on the city today. That's obnoxious. So down here, this is pretty far in the back of my cave, kind of an unfinished section that I had been building towards. I had already started digging this area out as a potential storage system. So I was going to have rooms going off each side here, and it was going to be a fully automated redstone storage system. I decided not to do that because I realized not only would that be a lot of work that probably wouldn't really be worth it, this is just ugly and it would take so much to make it look good. So instead I built the city hall that we did, I built that city hall in the last episode and it's great and I love it and I've been filling it in and it makes life so much easier. But I still have this, ooh, what's this? Oh, that's that one. So I still have this space here and I was like, what can I use this for? And I came up with a great idea. Well, a potentially dumb idea. I am going to build a mushroom farm. Why? Because I can. Oh, wow, that's very close. Yeah, I don't really have a reason to build this. I just thought it'd be interesting. So I got all the materials I'll need here. I have the mushrooms, I think, in my ender chest. So let's get started. Now, the design I came up with, I came up with it all on my own, which I was quite proud of, but it may not be the most efficient thing. So here, let's see. I want to make it 50 blocks long. I guess we'll start here. Yeah, so we'll put the first module in here. Oh, yeah, see, so I dug out some rooms for storage and stuff, but that's fine. That'll actually make life a little bit easier. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have a line of alternating red and brown mushrooms going all the way down there. Now we will have to actually break them up a little bit with glass or any blocks, just because otherwise the ones in the middle won't spread because there's too many around them. But so they'll be down the middle. No mushrooms will be able to grow on any of the middle blocks, so they'll only be able to grow here or here. So what we do is we use a piston to break them, and then we need a here, I'm gonna actually end up having to knock all of this out anyway, but we have a sticky piston here. I need an observer facing down. Is that facing down? That is the opposite of facing down. Here, let's just... And let's see, then we put our note block up there. Do I have enough note blocks? I do. And a target block there. A target block. No, not there. Target block here. And an observer that faces downwards. There. So this is the little design I came up with, and we're going to demonstrate this real quick. Basically, when anything grows here or is placed there, the observer updates, which powers the target block, that powers the note block, which, oh, this is in the wrong position. Glad I caught that. Where's my observer? I had to come up with a way to stop the firing of this piston from triggering the observer over and over and over and just creating a loop. Now, I am sure there's probably standardized ways of doing this that people have already come up with. But I didn't want to do any of those ways. I wanted to try and figure something out on my own. So this is what I came up with. So when this fires, it causes this piston here to fire and pull the observer that is facing the wrong way. I'm glad I caught that. It pulls the observer here, which powers the target block. That extends the piston to shoot that out. When that shoots, this gets triggered again, which powers this again and pushes the observer back out, which means that this piston won't get powered again. And I think it's a pretty smart system. It's very compact and tileable. It's actually the second iteration of what my design, and this one is so good. I like it. It really works. And then I'm eventually going to have, so this is going to be a whole line of these 50 of these on either side, and there's going to be powered rails here that when the observer goes back, or actually it'll be, powered rails are going to get powered twice, but basically powered rails here so that anytime one of these fires, it'll trigger, actually it could have just been a redstone line instead of powered rails, I'm realizing now. But basically, it'll get triggered here, have observers every once in a while to see, and that'll send off a minecart to pick up any of the mushrooms. So yeah, I just gotta build this module over and over, but if we demonstrate it, it should work. See? Look at that. It's relatively quick and painless. And yeah, so I can demonstrate here what it was doing. Now, yeah, I realize I can just use I can just use redstone dust, and I probably will, but yeah, so like I have that there, and you can see when it fires, the powered rail actually powers, and that's what's going to send off the minecart. That'll be under it, starting right about here. But actually here, I want to see about using redstone dust instead, because that'll be a little better. I mean, I already have all of the powered rails, but, you know, if I can save those for something else, that'd be great. Oh, yeah, see? Ah, yeah, see? That... I had already tried the redstone dust, and I remember that it created a loop because it was feeding back into the target block. So yeah, that's why I was using the powered rails. Okay, well, glad I realized that. Alright, so, time to just build this module over and over and over. Let's go. Alright, so that's one half of it complete, so I should be able to place in front of any one of these, and it will fire like so. Great. So we have half of the actual harvesting mechanism built. Let's build the other half. First, let's put up a wall here. So since we're not going to be going further than this, might as well put up a wall. And I realized I just... Oh, I could have sworn I just walled in some dark space. Alright, guess not. Yep. And there we go. That is the entirety of the harvesting mechanism constructed. So now all I need to do... Well, first let's check. So the light level, I think, needs to be 12 or below, so let's make sure that it's not 13 anywhere, which it is not. Okay. Alright, so I need the harvesting mechanism still, but let's start by putting in some mushrooms. So I think what I had figured out was 4 mushrooms, then a glass block seemed to work well. I think I figured out that that worked. Alright, so let's put our supplies back, since I'm not really going to need many of these again. Also, all this deep slate, which is kind of useless. Okay, so, our mushrooms. Oh, wait, I need my glass as well. So, yeah, so I figured... basically... 4 mushrooms in an alternating pattern. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we want glass. And then I'm going to keep the alternating pattern. So the glass would be brown, so we want another red, brown, red, brown. And we do this all the way down. Wow, that is it. That was some perfect counting there. So, now I'm going to have to, and we're going to start off with this. We're going to need to cover this up, otherwise bad things could happen. But we now have a completely filled in mushroom farm, and I think it looks great. So, now that's going to start spreading eventually. It goes really, really slowly, and that's only problem with this farm is, even though it's, you know, automatic harvesting and lots of spawning spaces, and like I optimized for spreading, like how far apart they are, it's still really slow just because that's how mushrooms work. But I mean, I don't anticipate ever needing a whole lot of mushrooms. I'm literally just doing this because I was doing some villager conversions and I needed mushrooms, so I went to Nether Roof and I'm like, I guess I could farm this stuff. And that's how we ended up here. So I guess the next step is we need to set up the harvesting system, which is going to involve running powered rails all the way down here. But these, you know, an observer all the way at that end isn't going to be able to power the powered rails to this end. So what I'm doing is I have observers every once in a while checking the powered rails, and those are what actually activates the collection system. My brain works, I promise. Now, I know this probably is not the most efficient way to do this, but I think we've established on this channel that I don't often do things in the most efficient way. And I'm proud of it. An observer at the end here. We'll have a repeater right away. And then this will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another observer. Another repeater, and we'll continue like this. All right, there. So that should be good. Now, actually, I guess I'll dig the minecart track now, just because that's going to be tedious. And actually, while I'm down there, I'll also put in the rails for it. Let's see, I'll need more powered rails. A lot more. I will need redstone blocks, and let's get a light source just so I can see what I'm doing. There. Perfect. So there is the collection system. I just need to now be able to trigger it, which is easy enough. So we just need some redstone dust. Oh no, we need redstone dust and repeaters, unless I'm... Oh, you know what? If I use target blocks, I don't need those repeaters there, right? Am I thinking about this wrong? And my redstone dust. So now I should be able to... Alright, yeah, that works. That's better, though I will still use repeaters here. I have to have repeaters going into this, just because otherwise it does some weird things. At least it did in my testing world. I assume it will do the same weird things here, so we're just going to... We're going to assume that we need that. I forgot. Hoppers. Hoppers are important. So we're going to have the hopper line come out. We'll have it come over here. So boop, doop. I definitely don't have enough hoppers for this, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll make it work. Well, that one's gone. Beautiful. It's kind of dark, but that's fine. Oh, I just heard a fire. I just heard a fire. So now we should have some mushroom. Hey, look at that. We got a mushroom. Haha. It works. It works. I love when my contraptions work. That was a very close-up of my face. So now I'm obviously going to have to make a nicer room for this at some point. Or maybe not. I mean, probably that double chest will never, ever get filled up, so it's probably fine. All right, so that is that project all completed. So now, that's not actually all I wanted to do today. That was just meant to be a quick diversion, which I mean, that took me like maybe 40 minutes to build, and that was with making mistakes. Now that that's running, and it's basically like right below the city, like I think like the center of the city is like right up there. So now that that's running, let's go take a look at what I was actually planning on doing today. You know, again, that was just a quick diversion. It's like, oh, this might be interesting to do. I also just almost killed myself because I have no armor on. Oh, so this is a good segue here. So it's nighttime, and I don't actually have anywhere in the city to sleep. I have the bed on my ship, and I have a bed here. Which, you know, it's fine, but I don't like having to fly so far away from my city to go to sleep. You know, currently, all right, that was a bit of a lie. I do have a bed in my city. It's just there in the middle of the street. I am literally sleeping on the street, so I think I should change that. And at the same time, we can continue filling out our city. So I have planned an apartment building that will go right here. Now, it's not very good. I don't know much about buildings or building in Minecraft or cities or apartments or anything like that. I don't know anything about it. But I came up with a design. I think it's kind of cool. And it's actually a 2-in-1 build. It's not just an apartment building. You'll see what the other part of it is after I build it. So, ooh, you know what? Let's go put some of this stuff away in my lovely storage system. So yeah, I've actually been using my storage system. So here. Ta-da! I've labeled chests, and I mean, more than half of it is already claimed. I mean, it's not filled, obviously. I don't have that many items, but it's filled with the different types of items. So I don't know if this is actually going to be enough. I'm probably going to have to put more chests up there and actually turn those into top slabs so that I can actually open the chests. But that's a problem for future me, because it's not really an issue right now. So let's put our new supply of deep slate away, and we have our tough. And yeah, it's great. Now, yes, it might be better if this were an automatic redstone powered thingamahoosit, but I really don't need that. For the amount of building I do, I can deal with putting this kind of stuff away manually. Although I need a trash disposal for things like that I don't really care about. So yeah, again, I've designed this building. It fits in just over 3 shulker boxes. Yeah, this one's barely filled. Oh, so yeah, that shows what the second part is, grocery. I'll show that off later. But yeah, so the mushroom farm is like right below. Actually, I think it's like 961 and minus 45. So the end of the mushroom farm is right here. So yeah, so it's kind of far away from the apartment building, but it should still be close enough that it will be running while we're building this. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get any sort of supply of mushrooms after any sort of supply of mushrooms after we build this. But I think that's enough lollygagging. I need a place to sleep. So let's build our apartment building. Here we go. And ta-da, the build is complete, and I think it is actually pretty good, all things considered. So let's start down here around the back, where we have our grocery store. So basically, this was because I wanted to fit more than just an apartment building in here, partially because I wanted to have, like, something on this side of the, this street here, this side of this block. But in order to do that, I really wouldn't have enough space to have apartments, like full apartments, up there. But then I realized I can have just this little bit here be a store and have the apartments, like, on top of it. So, like, those windows are actually apartments, whereas the store is here. So, like, the lobby of the apartment building part is not as deep as the apartments themselves. I thought that was kind of clever. So inside, there is currently nothing, but I'm going to be having a couple farmers in here. That's why these rails are here, so they don't get out. So I'm going to have a couple farmers in here, and that's where I'm going to get my supply of golden carrots, because I currently am only getting them from one farmer, and he's not even been zombified at all. So I'm going to get some actual proper villagers in here. I'm also going to put, like, food out on display, and also have, like, stores of food here. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Now, actually, before we go in, I also want to take a point out the roof. I am really not happy with how it looks. It really only looks good from the front. Oh, also, I realized I actually forgot there's supposed to be iron trap doors here, because... Oh, actually, never mind. It's bright enough that nothing's going to spawn. Oh, that must be the light coming in from the window down below. Alright, well, I was going to have iron trap doors here, so that nothing could spawn, but nothing can spawn, so I guess that's fine. I might still put the trapdoors on. I think it'll look a little bit better. I'll see. But yeah, so I'm probably going to change something around this side and or the back of the roof just to make it look a little bit nicer. Now, heading on into the lobby, there is absolutely nothing. I haven't really thought of what I'm going to be putting in here yet. I just have these little lamps. I'll have to figure out if or what I'm going to have here. Maybe, like, mailboxes or something. Ooh, that's actually a good idea. Like, mailboxes along that wall. And so then we have 3 apartments here, and they're all the same except for color scheme. So this is the light gray apartment. Yes, this is light gray. I don't know why terracotta colors are terrible. But so they're all furnished exactly the same. So we have our little kitchen area with a sink and lots of storage. The storage could be for food or other things, whatever I decide to keep here. Got a little furnace. Of course, you need an ender chest and just like a, another storage spot here. And this, I thought it was clever. I designed a little wardrobe, and you can actually use it since it has barrels inside of it. I thought that was clever. I was really proud of myself for thinking of that. And then, of course, have a bed. So I am officially no longer sleeping on the streets, and that makes me extremely happy. Then in here we have a bathroom, which we got our toilet and our sink, and I thought this was smart. Got a little shower here, and you can actually turn it on with hot and cold water. Ooh. It'd be interesting if I could design it so that hot actually did lava, but yeah, no. But so got a shower, and I'm happy with it. Now, the 3 floors are exactly the same except for the colors. I think I'm going to probably use the blue one as my primary one, because it's not, not too high. I don't have to climb 3 floors, and I can still have a nice view of the Enterprise out my window. But yeah, so I am now officially going to be moving into the city now that I have somewhere to sleep, and I'm going to probably just take anything else of value off of my ship, and it's just going to kind of be a decoration at this point. Which, it's kind of sad, because that ship served me well, and really, I am extremely proud of it. But, it's time. I was outgrowing it. So yeah, I'm really quite pleased with how this came out. And again, I don't know anything about apartments or apartment buildings or anything like that, but it looks pretty good, I think. Now, I did also, after I finished building this, I had gone already and taken a quick look at the mushroom farm, so let's head down there. I'm going to also be, at some point, adding an entrance to the cave in the city itself, just because it is a bit of a pain having to come all this way every time I want to go into the cave. But now, if we come all the way over here, ow, to our glorious mushroom farm. You can see that we do have some mushrooms. Not a lot, 11 and 8. But I actually took note when I came down here before that there was actually a... just harvested. There was actually a mushroom, like, floating that hadn't been collected over there. So I was doing some testing. And for some reason, this side, it wasn't triggering the minecarts, but that side was. And the only way I could figure to fix it was add delay to the repeater. So there's the same amount of delay on each side. And this fixes it, but with only one tick on the repeater, it doesn't trigger the minecarts to go and pick things up. I don't understand why. I'm sure there's some stupid reason, but, like, it's exactly the same on each side. Like, even down here, it's exactly the same. So, I don't understand it. I'm sure there's some stupid reason, but yeah, so it's fixed now, so we should have slightly better yields. But, like, the apartment building only took me about an hour to build, and even with the thing not working at full capacity, we got a handful of mushrooms, so I'm actually extremely happy. I call this a successful project. But yeah, so unfortunately that's all the time I really have for today. But you know, I think this was a good episode since I actually got a fair bit of stuff done, including expanding our city. It's starting to take shape now that we have a few buildings in place, and you know, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish this street. So I'm going to the next building will probably be this, whatever it ends up being. Then whatever's going to go in these spots along this side. And we're just going to probably circle our way around to some extent. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And until next time, so long.